Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive in, make sure you drop your thoughts and the lessons you took from this story in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. My name is Caleb Reed, 29 years old, and I received the text on a quiet Wednesday afternoon while I was at my desk in downtown Chicago. We were 3 days from the wedding. The message was from my fiancée, Brielle Patterson, who was 27 and the love of my life, at least until that moment shattered the image I had built. The text began with a breezy, almost chirpy tone that did not match the magnitude of what she was about to say. She wrote, "Hey, I want to be transparent. Terrence reached out, and we have been talking. His father has been really sick and needs support. I'm going to spend Thursday and Friday night at his place for closure before our big day. Nothing will happen. I promise. The wedding is still on. Love you, Brielle." Terrence was her ex of 4 years, the one she swore she had left firmly in the past when we began dating 2 years earlier. I read the text once, then twice, then a third time, as if repetition could reveal a hidden line where she said she was joking. There was no such line. I stared at my computer screen and felt the quiet hum of the office lose all its warmth. I typed back, "Do what you need to do," and hit send. Within seconds she responded, "Oh my God, you are the best. I knew you would understand. This is why I'm marrying you. You are mature and secure. I cannot wait to be your husband on Saturday." My stomach turned. I put my phone face down and watched the soft reflection of the fluorescent lights ripple across the black screen. Then I picked it up again and started calling vendors. My voice sounded unfamiliar to me. Calm, flat, decided. First, I called the venue in Oak Park. "Hello, this is Caleb Reed. I have a wedding booked for this Saturday. I need to cancel it." The coordinator, a kind woman named Mariah, drew a breath I could hear through the line and asked if everything was all right. She warned me that I would lose my deposit. "That is fine," I said. "Please cancel the event, the catering, the flowers, the string quartet, the disc jockey, the lighting, everything." "Sir, are you sure?" she asked. "That is nearly," I interrupted gently. "I am sure. Please process the cancellation immediately." She confirmed she would send an email within the hour. I thanked her, ended the call, and sat in the silence as if waiting for an echo to come back and tell me I had done the wrong thing. Second, I called the honeymoon resort in Maui. I had surprised Brielle with an upgraded suite overlooking the ocean, a small extravagance I had saved for as overtime hours accumulated. I canceled. I lost another deposit. I felt nothing beyond a clean, blunt relief, as if I had extracted a splinter that had been waiting just under the skin. Third, I called my best man, Devin Mitchell. "Devin, the wedding is off," I said. "Can you let the groomsmen know?" He asked what had happened in a low voice. I forwarded the text. He did not speak at first. Then he exhaled slowly and said, "She truly thought you would be comfortable with that." I told him apparently so. He asked what I needed. I told him it was already handled. By 6 o'clock that evening, every vendor had confirmed the cancellation. I had left work early, swung by the apartment, and transferred my belongings into my car while Brielle was still at her office. I took only what was mine, my clothes, my tools, my desk chair, a framed photograph of my grandmother. I left her engagement ring on the kitchen counter with a yellow sticky note that read, "For closure." I had thought through one other detail. Brielle's maid of honor, Candace, worked as an events assistant at the venue. She was not working that day, but I had a sense she would hear about the cancellation when it processed. I powered down my phone and drove to Devin's place in Bronzeville, where we ate takeout and watched the late sun burn itself into a narrow ember at the edge of the skyline. The night unfolded like a controlled detonation, precise and inevitable. At 9:23 p.m., according to Devin, the venue's automated after-hours system emailed Brielle a confirmation of the cancellation because she had insisted on being copied on all vendor communication. The timing felt like the universe's set cue. A few minutes later, Candace posted a story from Brielle's bachelorette outing, a rooftop bar in the West Loop, matching bride tribe shirts, glittering tiaras, and that theatrical happiness people perform on command. 10 minutes after that, Candace's next story read, "Emergency. Does anyone know where Caleb is?" The text to Devin started at 9:35 p.m. "Is Caleb with you? The venue says he canceled everything. Please tell me this is a mistake." He responded that there was no mistake. Candace asked why. He typed, "Ask Brielle about Terrence." There was a long gap, and then Candace replied, You are overreacting and ruining her life over nothing. Devin sent back, "This is not nothing." That ended the exchange for a time. The calls escalated. Brielle's mother, Yvette, got Devin's number from someone and left 17 voicemails. She said this was ridiculous, the wedding was in 3 days, and that I needed to answer my phone immediately. She said they had family flying in from Detroit and Dallas and New Orleans. She said I was being childish, and that Brielle had done nothing wrong. She threatened to sue me for the deposits. Good luck with that, Yvette, I said to no one. Every contract was in my name. I sat with Devin on his couch while he scrolled, shaking his head at each new ping. He kept pausing to look at me, as if he expected me to break or shout, or do anything other than sit very still and breathe evenly. At around 11 o'clock, Terrence himself apparently found Devin's number. "Tell Caleb, this is a misunderstanding," he wrote. "Brielle was just being kind because my father is ill. Nothing was going to happen. He is really going to throw everything away over 2 nights." Devin read it aloud in a flat voice that made the words sound like a script. Devin replied, "You texted the groom's fiancée, and she told him she planned to spend 2 nights at your place for closure. What outcome did you expect?" Terrence replied that it was not what it seemed. Devin asked what it was then. The thread kept circling back to the same hollow reassurance. Nothing would have happened. The words collapsed under their own weight. Brielle's cousin, Tiana, the one who enjoyed a bit of spectacle, posted a video from the aftermath. In it, Brielle sat on the floor of a bar restroom with mascara smudged beneath her eyes, a crooked tiara still on her head, while 2 friends crouched beside her and patted her shoulders. Someone in the background said, "Maybe Terrence can help," and Brielle snapped, "Terrence is why this is happening." I felt a strange, calm detachment looking at that. I had expected rage, but what I felt was something clean and resolute. It was like discovering a hidden trapdoor underfoot and stepping away from it with gratitude for the discovery rather than misery at the fall that did not happen. At 3 o'clock in the morning, while I was sleeping in Devin's spare room, Brielle posted a public message on Facebook. "To everyone coming to celebrate our wedding on Saturday," she wrote, "it is with a heavy heart that I announce the wedding has been postponed due to Caleb's mental health crisis. He is struggling with severe anxiety and paranoia and is making false accusations about me. I am committed to standing by him as he gets the help he needs. Please keep him in your prayers." In the morning, Devin showed it to me over coffee. I took a screenshot of Brielle's original text and posted a single response: "No mental health crisis. No paranoia." Brielle informed me she would spend the 2 nights before our wedding with her ex-boyfriend. I wished her well and canceled the wedding. Also, for those concerned, Terrence's father posted photos from his golf tournament yesterday. Do what you will with that information. The comment section turned into a bonfire. Some people were wary of getting involved. Some took sides. Some just wanted to marvel at the flames. I could not control any of that, and the need to control it had long since drained out of me. I watched the heat from a distance and let it burn. By early afternoon, Brielle arrived at Devin's building with reinforcements: her mother Yvette, her father Leon, her maid of honor Candace, and Terrence. Yes, they actually brought Terrence. The Ring doorbell captured the scene with a crispness that felt almost theatrical. Devin asked if he could record it, and I said yes. Yvette began immediately, her voice pitched high. "Caleb Reed, open this door right now. We need to discuss this like adults." Leon followed with a heavy sigh and a stern tone. "Son, I do not know what game you're playing, but you're going to fix this. Do you know how much we have spent?" Brielle's voice broke through all of it. "Caleb, please. You are not being rational. Just talk to me." Terrence added a strange, genial tone, as if we were friends. "Man, do not do her like this." Devin pressed the intercom. "Did you truly think bringing the man she planned to spend 2 nights with would persuade him to open the door?" There was a hush. Then Brielle said, "It was not like that." Devin asked, "Then what was it like?" She said she needed to make sure there were no unresolved feelings before she married. He asked if there were unresolved feelings. The silence was longer this time. "That is irrelevant," she said at last. "It is extremely relevant," Devin replied. Leon tried another angle. "We have 150 guests coming. The rehearsal dinner is tomorrow. You cannot do this." Devin said calmly, "He already did." Terrence cleared his throat and tried a tone he must have thought sounded conciliatory. "If I could explain to Kayla man to man," Devin interrupted. "With respect, You are the last person who should be at this door. Candace finally spoke. Brielle, perhaps we should go. Brielle shouted. No, he does not get to do this. He does not get to humiliate me. Caleb, I know you are in there, she said, her voice rising to its sharpest edge. You are being pathetic. You will regret this for the rest of your life. I was doing you a favor by marrying you. A favor. That word hung in the cooled hallway air like frost. Yvette added, We will make sure everyone knows what kind of person he truly is. Devin said. Caleb already posted the screenshot. Building security arrived and escorted them out when the argument refused to end. I watched the footage later and felt a complicated mix of sorrow and relief. Love, at its worst, can blind you. The right kind of pain can restore your sight. That evening, Brielle posted a story from a familiar-looking couch with 2 wine glasses on the table. Even without the caption, sometimes the universe shows you where you are meant to be. Everyone could see the distinctive artwork on Terrence's wall. The wedding was canceled, and she went to his apartment anyway. Closure had turned into an opening. She seemed eager to step through. Friday morning began with a call from the country club in Burr Ridge, where our rehearsal dinner was scheduled. Mr. Reed, the manager said politely, there seems to be some confusion. Ms. Patterson is here insisting the dinner is still on. I told him there was no confusion. I had canceled the event. She says she will pay for it herself, he said. I explained that she would need to create a new reservation in her name. The Reed-Patterson rehearsal dinner is canceled, I said clearly. He paused, then added, she asked us to charge her card for a new reservation. We told her we could not, and she became upset. I could hear someone yelling in the background. Is that her? I asked. He sighed. I'm afraid so. She is demanding to speak with you. I told him I was fine, thanked him, and hung up. An hour later, Leon called from a different number because I had blocked his. Caleb, this is Leon. The country club is calling the police on Brielle and Yvette. Is this really what you want? His voice contained a tremor, that thin line between anger and embarrassment. I do not want anything at all, I said. I am living my life. You are destroying hers, he said. She made her choices over 2 nights. You are ending everything over a text about 2 nights. I asked if Brielle had told him she posted from Terrence's apartment after the wedding was canceled. There was silence. Yes, he said finally. I saw. He hung up. That evening, Yvette and Brielle tried to host a replacement dinner at a restaurant in Hyde Park. Out of the 60 invited, 12 came. Terrence was there, seated beside Brielle, which caused Brielle's sister, Nicole, to leave after 5 minutes. Tiana, the cousin with the ever-ready camera, posted a muted video of the table where strained smiles tried to cover embarrassed silence like napkins covering broken glass. Later that night, Brielle started a live video on Instagram. She was wine-drunk, crying, and repeating herself in circles. I want everyone to know the truth, she said. Caleb is trying to paint me as a cheater. I never cheated. I was trying to get closure. Terrence and I had unfinished business, and I wanted to begin my marriage with a clean slate. Caleb said he was fine with it. The comments did not support her narrative. Someone wrote, You are literally in Terrence's apartment right now. She twisted the phone to avoid the artwork, but everyone already recognized it. Another comment read, Did you not say this morning that Caleb was having a mental health crisis? She responded, He is. Who cancels a wedding over a text message? Someone wrote, Someone whose fiancée tells him she will spend 2 nights with her ex. She began to sob harder. You do not understand, she said. Terrence and I have history. Caleb never understood that connection. The video ended when Terrence's voice entered the frame, saying, You are making it worse. Give me the phone. Someone saved the video and sent it to Devin, and he showed it to me the next morning over breakfast. I had booked a mountain resort in the Smoky Mountains for a solo weekend, and I decided to go. I turned off my notifications and drove out of the city with the windows down. The trees met the road like a green colonnade, and the quiet felt like a promise kept. Meanwhile, according to Devin, chaos had arrived at the venue on Saturday morning because Brielle and Yvette had told some guests that the event was merely postponed and that people should come anyway. About 30 relatives, some in formal wear, some in travel-wrinkled suits, wandered the grounds while a technology company held a corporate retreat inside the ballroom. The contrast was uncomfortable and undeniable. Yvette attempted to pressure the venue manager into allocating space for a celebration of love, as she put it. The manager called the police for the second time in 2 days. Nicole texted Devin, "This is out of control. Mom and Brielle keep telling people Caleb had a psychotic break, but Brielle has been at Terrence's since Wednesday. Dad just found out Terrence has been divorced twice and owns nothing, and Brielle is acting like he is her soulmate. I am embarrassed." The strangest twist arrived in the form of Terrence's father, Harold Cole. He showed up at the venue wearing a blazer and the eager expression of a man who believes he is attending something celebratory. He had been told his son was getting married. When he learned the truth, that Terrence had used his father's supposed illness as a cover to insert himself into an engagement, Harold's face transformed with a hurt that looked old and familiar. He said, loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear, "You told people I had cancer to sleep with an engaged woman? I raised you better than this." Brielle tried to intercede with a tearful apology, but Harold turned to her and said, "You are engaged to another man and spending nights at my son's apartment. Both of you have lost your way." It was abrupt, blunt, and impossible to misinterpret. Saturday evening, Brielle used the key I had not yet collected and entered the apartment we had shared. She put on her wedding dress and stood in the bedroom, the skirt spilling across the floor like a white flood. She texted me a photograph from that room with the caption, "This could have been our night. I am here if you want to talk." I replied, "Please check your email." I had already informed the landlord, Mr. Watkins, that I had moved out and would not be paying next month's rent. Brielle could not afford the place on her own. She replied, "You cannot do this." I wrote back, "I already did. Good luck with everything." She asked, "Where am I supposed to live?" I wrote, "Terrence's apartment seems comfortable." She sent 43 voice messages that I did not listen to, followed by a sequence of text messages that attempted to pivot from fury to sorrow to seduction in the space of a few minutes. The final message said, "You are throwing away something rare," which I agreed with in a way she did not recognize. I was throwing away a mistake, and that felt rare enough. In the weeks that followed, the story continued to roll forward like a cart with a broken wheel. Brielle and Terrence officially became a couple. When she could not make rent, she moved into a studio apartment in his mother's basement in South Shore. The difference between the life she had imagined and the life she had stepped into seemed to open beneath her like a quiet sinkhole. Yvette and Leon separated, then initiated divorce proceedings. Leon sent me an apology email that surprised me in its humility. "Caleb," he wrote, "I am sorry. I should have listened. I should have raised my daughter better. You avoided a disaster. I wish I had your courage to walk away." I did not know what to say, so I simply replied that I appreciated his words. Harold Cole reached out to me too. "Kid," he wrote in a brief, gruff message, "I am sorry my son is a disappointment. You seem like a good man. His mother and I are cutting him off until he grows up." It was not my responsibility to manage another man's redemption, but the message landed with an unexpected grace. Brielle attempted to book the same venue for a new wedding with Terrence a month later, but the venue declined. She tried 3 others in the area. It turned out that venues communicate with each other more than most people realize, and 2 police incidents tied to a client's behavior can leave a long shadow. They were politely, consistently turned away. According to Tiana, who kept me informed more than I wanted, Brielle began to complain that Terrence would not propose. He told her that they did not need a piece of paper and that what they had transcended legal formalities. At Thanksgiving, he announced across Yvette's table that he did not believe in marriage anymore after his 2 divorces. Brielle said, "You ruined my life for nothing," and he answered, "I thought you loved me for me, not for a ceremony." People began spotting Terrence on dating apps. Screenshots surfaced. Whispers traveled. Brielle continued curating their life online with flattering angles and filtered light, insisting with each post that everything was beautiful. Sometimes the insistence itself reveals the opposite more clearly than silence could. As for me, my life did not become magically perfect, but became clear. Without the friction and fatigue of wedding planning and the constant, low-grade tension underneath our engagement, my performance at work improved. 2 months later, I was promoted to lead a project I had been advocating for, and my days filled up with constructive problems and satisfying solutions. I began spending more time at my climbing gym in the South Loop. There I reconnected with Kayla Bryant, who had been in my climbing group for months, clear-eyed, sharp, generous with her belays and her laughter. We went for coffee after a session and talked for 3 hours about families, boundaries, and ambitions. She had heard the story in broad strokes and said she would have made the same decision. We decided to take it slowly. We left our phones face down during dinner. We asked questions without making each other audition for forgiveness in advance. In quiet moments, she would squeeze my hand and say, "You made a hard, right choice." That sentence was worth more to me than any vindication the internet could offer. One morning, in a coffee shop near my office, I ran into Candace. She looked tired, like someone who had not slept properly in several weeks. She asked if we could sit for a moment. "I am sorry," she said, hands wrapped around a paper cup that she did not sip from. I wanted to believe Brielle's version. But she was texting Terrence for months before the Wednesday you found out. She bought special lingerie for those nights she called closure. I told her not to do it. She said you were too much of a pushover to do anything about it. I thanked her for telling me and for trying to talk Brielle out of it. Candace's face softened with relief that I had not exploded at her. "She thought you would accept whatever she did because you loved her," Candace said. "She misjudged love in you." I wished Candace well, and as she stood to leave, she said, "You deserve something better and simpler." I agreed. Looking back, the red flags have been there, waving, even just disguised as ordinary warning flares. The comparisons to Terrence, delivered in small doses, the just friends texts that seemed to arrive with perfect timing and were quickly tucked away when I entered the room. The time she said during an argument that I was lucky she had chosen me. If we had married, we would have dragged those flags down the aisle and woven them into our vows without admitting what they were. The divorce would have been expensive. The decay would have been quiet and relentless. That text message about closure was, in its clumsy honesty, a gift. It let me exit a burning theater before the smoke became invisible and lethal. A final note arrived in my inbox from Sabrina, one of Terrence's ex-wives, who had found me on social media. "I heard what happened," she wrote. "Welcome to the group of people who escaped. By the way, he will cheat on her within 6 months. He cheated on me with 3 different women." I wrote back, "Not my circus anymore," and I meant it. My life had stepped back into alignment, and the only closure I needed was the click of a door that would no longer open the way it used to. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.